Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show presented by j&j Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
Well, good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the show. It's been quite a week. We've had quite a lot of great people to join us here, and tonight is another good one for you guys. We did advertise this, so you might or may not know, but we want to explain a little bit. We are continuing our series here. We're introducing and meeting a lot of great musical artists. We've had some great guests, and tonight is another really special one. So we want to introduce and welcome to the show. I want to get my our little fun buttons here because I don't know if we can all hear it, but we're not live in studio audience, but we like to have the ambiance that we have a live show, which, I mean, we are, but it's not like an in-studio thing. So I have my applause button, but we want to welcome to the show, making her first appearance here, Lyia Meta. Hello.
Hi, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
And Big Hoss, yes. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing fine. It's 9:30, just after 9:30
Just after
a.m.
9:30 Eastern, yeah. Now, according to your bio, you're in Malaysia?
Yes, it's in the morning for me.
Really? What part of, Malaysia, is that Malaysia actually the country there? Like there's a certain part of Malaysia?
Malaysia is a peninsula in Southeast Asia. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
So it's a little small place, but we are a multicultural country, and we have variety of ethnicities.
Background.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are very colorful, I would say.
Sure.
And it's very interesting. Unless you've lived it, you wouldn't know what it's like.
Yeah, I guess it's fair to say same thing in here. If you haven't grown, obviously, you were born and raised in that way. Like you weren't born here like us in the U.S., so it's the same difference. We have to be there to understand it, but we appreciate that. So that leads to the great question. We like to start with this. Obviously, your first time here, so tell us as much in depth as you would like. Who is Lyia? Tell us about your background, who you are, where you're from, as much as or as little as you want to share. We're just curious, but we want to have you give a chance to draw us a picture about your life, I guess, in essence.
Okay, I was born in Malaysia, right? So born in Malacca. So that's like a small town. Right now, right now it's a historical city, but we were a small town. A small town in the peninsula, and it kind of was a Sleepy Hollow kind of place. And I'm of Portuguese. I'm of Portuguese Creole, Portuguese descent, because the Portuguese made Malacca a port back in the 15th century. So that's my roots, right?
Wow.
And I'm a singer, songwriter, visual artist, writer. I'm also, I write for music magazines and stuff like that.
Okay.
And a vocal teacher, that's right. I've only just ventured into teaching vocal in a structured way with a school, because I've always been asked to teach.
Okay.
And I wanted to do it, but I didn't have the time. So I'm making this time. It's my way of paying it forward in a way, because I've never seen myself as a teacher. So I'm doing that. But my art and my music and my writing has always been the focus of who I am, the root of who I am, at the root of it all. That's who I am. So, yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's a interesting ethnic background. I always say I find it fun when people like, what is your that's a very diverse, it's a very unique blend. Which is, it's always fun because there's so many, like, even for a lot of us, we have our heritage where, like I'm blended from all over. I got family in Europe. I got people like native, all that stuff. But just when you actually learn about and you can see that, and I'm always curious to, like, you try to guess, and I'm like, we've heard some like really interesting combos. So we have one family, I forget what one artist we had on. She's like, mom's Colombian, dad's from somewhere, and I'm like, wow, that's really like you don't think about that combination just because it is so diverse.
Yes.
I got to experience culture at a young age because I got to travel to Guatemala because my stepdad was Guatemalan. So I
Okay.
experienced both USA, Guatemala, and so
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think it changes the way we see the
it
world we
def-
live in. It changes
it, def-
that. And
it definitely did change the way I see
yeah,
culture and
yeah.
Well, we have a
So
better appreciation where we come. I always say I like to learn because we have a better appreciation of where we come from. Obviously, we all have questions. When you're, especially if you're descended from family that you've never met, or like I have distant relatives from like homeland. I wasn't like I got family all over. Like I want to learn about where I come from because I want to value that, and I might not be from there, but at least I have descendant. I'm part of that proud family tree thing. So. Which is really awesome. But for teaching, though, it's interesting. Like I think you're the second person that we talked to that I didn't expect to say, "Oh, I'm a musical artist," but I also get into teaching. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. What about the teaching was something that you really wanted to do? Why was that a big thing that you wanted to try for?
I didn't want to try for it. I have to be honest. I'm a full-time performer, which means I perform like 4 or 5 days a week.
Wow.
For a long time, we held residencies across the peninsula. So in all these hotels, these 5-star hotels, we would be holding contracts that would last for between 6 months to a year and a half, and then we move on to another place. And that was basically how I made a living. That's basically me making a living.
Okay.
But throughout that those years, I've always been asked that the way the way I present myself on stage and blah 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 and all that, why don't I teach, or I should consider teaching? And I have never ever entertained the idea. But I've reached a point in my life where I see the way things unfold, so to speak, and I find that being an independent artist is never about going into it alone. It's a lot of other things, people who may help you get where you are, the next step, open the doors for you, just those little things. And none of them did it because they were forced to do it. They did it because they wanted to.
Right.
And I felt that this was my way of giving back, because you don't earn a lot of money from teaching,
Right.
but you do pass on something that stays forever to whoever who is you are teaching,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And especially when you teach kids,
Yeah.
you find that you lay a foundation for them that no one can take away from.
Absolutely. 100%.
So it's kind of like my way of paying it forward. Maybe one day they'll look back and tell themselves, "Oh, I had this teacher who told me this and that and that and that and that," and
they remember that. Yeah,
they remember you for that little bit of things, and you probably would have altered their course in life.
Exactly. Yep.
So
that's fantastic. I mean, and the thing that's nice about it is, your passion and dedication, obviously, to perform, and you're doing that, but it's I call it the down to earth experience where you're not. And again, it's not to offend anybody watching. I'm not taking a shot at the big celebrities doing it, but like, you still have that sense of realism where you're still giving back to people. You're not such a big A-list type where you're too big and too famous to care about people, as we see in some cases. Not everybody, but there are certain cases where you hear stories about these artists that forget the fans, they forget people, they forget that they are real people. Like, we're all human beings at the end of it. So, it's unfortunate because I think a lot of people would have a lot to give, right? So just hearing that and like you said, it wasn't your necessary thing that you wanted to do, but you kind of felt like once you were going that direction, like it kind of drew you there. Like you had this manner of and a sense of accomplishing that I want to do this. I want to give back. I want to really focus there. And again, leave it. We talk about this all the time, positivity. We're hoping to leave a better example for generations down the road. We don't know what the future is going to hold, but you want to be that positive role model to any extent. We do that here, and I'm not sure how much of an influence we make, but we try anyway. It doesn't stop us from trying. So it's just really nice to hear that. But starting on your musical journey, when exactly did you start in that realm of wanting to be performing? You know, when did you get into that, and how did you get into it? I guess really is a good question.
Oh, that goes very far back. Short story is I come from a very musically inclined family.
Okay.
And I'm the only one out of all the siblings who refused to get into music.
Wow.
Because I found music to be a very painful path.
Hmm.
I had a very unconventional upbringing, so to
Okay.
speak. My dad was a very, he wasn't your dad kind of like,
Yeah.
no clock in the office and get out and come home. And,
Right.
So it was a very unconventional, but it also gave me a sense of understanding that art is all consuming art. And he was a visual artist and a performer also.
Okay.
Though less of a performer because he had a day job.
Sure.
But he was a visual artist.
Okay.
So it gave me a sense that there's music is not something you can hold on to. It's combustible for me.
Yeah.
I felt that's how I felt. And especially when we had a lot of people coming in and out our home because of the lifestyle that he led. So I didn't want to do music at all. But you know what they say, that some things are already mapped out for you, whether you want to
or not
admit it or not, whether you want to admit it or not. And I think music found me and hung on to me.
Sure.
And yanked me back to earth and told me, well, you can do this and you can do that and you can do that, but this is actually where you belong. So before I went into music, I was doing a lot of other jobs that took me as far from music as possible because I wanted a white picket fence, 10 kids, and whatever else. Yeah. So, that is the romantic in me, I suppose.
So I got a I got a question for you. What were you going through when you wrote? It seemed like you were going through a lot when you wrote the Raging Halls.
Raging Halls.
Okay. Raging Halls isn't a standalone. Raging Halls is a follow-up to my album Sundered and Reforged.
Okay.
Sundered and Reforged is very dark. It's a lot of it's basically me wanting to be saved from all the. It's like a tumbleweed, I just kept collecting a lot of grievances, a lot of unhappiness along the way.
Right.
I carried a lot of emotional baggage, and that was Sundered and Reforged, which I wrote. And this one is me coming out of Sundered and Reforged.
Okay.
So it's like me reaching the horizon.
Okay.
Rage is me reaching the horizon, and the horizon represents the awakening of a new day, a new chapter kind of thing, My lyrics are very introspective, so it's never literal. It's never about me running through this or there's the fire and there's the that. It's really what the listener takes away from it.
Okay.
So if you are depending on where you are in life, then you take away whatever you want to take away from it. So that's Raging Halls, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, everything has a story behind it.
I like the part where she says, "Bend the shadows to," however you said it.
I've been to Raging Halls. Which part is that one? I forgot.
I said, not to put you on the spot there. No, he likes to. Yeah. I don't have the lyrics for that. Sorry, I don't. Yeah. That's really good. No, it's the thing I like about, and you probably can you feel the same too.
Okay.
Music's that form of expression where it's like writing a movie, writing a book. You're putting yourself there. You're telling that story. It's something that's meaningful. It's something that, good or bad, sometimes it's sadness. Sometimes it's just your way to express it, to get it out. As opposed to just generally saying the words or writing it. The song carries, like, I always say, like, even for films example, the music always carries the story. So whether it's happy, sad, there's some kind of emotional tie-in, you connect with that. Like, I love films that have a good song where I can feel emotionally connected because I want to be in that moment as the viewer or listener, even in a song or an album or a track. Like, I'm trying to relate to it. And, when you do kind of those sort of things, it's just nice to have somewhere we can reflect on that. Now, the good question is, and I'm curious too, is obviously you're, growing up there, Malaysia there, like as far as music, like what was some influence for you? Did you have any? Because I mean, obviously you've probably heard a lot of Western music culture, but I'm sure it wasn't, not a lot of it out in the East there. I don't know how much of it translates, like for us, say in America over there too. I'm not sure how big anybody is here. Like, what was really some of the music you liked that got you, like maybe gave you inspiration to do your music and to get into that sort of thing?
I know I get asked this question a lot. There was never really an influence that you would find in my music.
Okay.
Okay. I was brought up on a lot of rock and blues.
Okay.
But all blues. I mean, we listened to B.B. King. We listened to.
Oh.
I mean, the only real record I had at home was probably Black Sabbath.
Okay. Yep.
That we could play on and on and on and on and on until we ruined that even.
You wore it out. Yep.
We wore it out. Yeah. Otherwise, we listened to popular radio. We listened to the DJs, whatever they were playing.
Sure.
And back, from a small town, a lot of the music that was played on the radio was always the kind of music that appealed to the listeners in that small town.
Okay.
So it wasn't so much about the top 40 at the time. It was more about what kind of music that would appeal to the people there. And most of it was like songs from Elvis, Cliff Richard.
It makes sense. No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because that's the kind of demographic they had.
Yeah.
Maybe there were different channels, but it wasn't. We didn't have the opportunity to discover it, or maybe it was just my dad's fault and my mom's fault because they tuned into those channels and we listened to a lot of country, a lot of the Eagles and stuff like that because that was what they wanted to listen to.
Now, was that, and a tribute to that, was that like part of, I don't know, background-wise, obviously growing there, did that any way help maybe family, like English-speaking wise, like learning? I know they say a lot of times people learn English from like music and learn songs. I don't know if you knew a lot of it, maybe going to school. But did it help anyway? Did you have any trouble? Like, I'm not sure as far as like language barrier, if you knew a lot of English, did you learn from that? Again, people hear that. I don't know how much of that's true in your case, but just out of curiosity.
No, we have our national language,
okay,
right? Which we most of our subjects are in that language at school, but we speak. We use English a lot in school too because that's also another subject. But I've always spoken English at home. We all speak English, even though my dad spoke Portuguese, local Creole Portuguese, and my mom spoke to me in her dialect, her language, which was Chinese.
Okay.
But we spoke English all the time. I don't think it influenced how I spoke English. I don't think I picked up anything from it. I just naturally... I've never thought of myself outside of English.
Sure.
It's just who I am. I don't think it influenced me at all. But maybe the way they pronounce certain words, yes, I might have picked it up unconsciously. I didn't make a point to sit in front of the song and listen to it and say, well, this is how it's pronounced and this is how it's, I don't think I did that. Yeah.
No, that's a fair point. It's not everybody. It's just, I know a lot of times you hear like stories like, and again, growing up here, I've never been, would love to travel over there. I've never left the country. So like I'm restricted to what we learn here in the US and obviously what's on the internet. But you hear a lot of times like some people say in far parts of the world, I wasn't a good English speaker until I watched these TV, like they see a lot of reruns of old TV shows, or they hear these old songs and they learn English, like Elvis Presley's, for example. They hear these old tracks, and they're like, most of my family learned English because of, da-da-da-da-da. But like now with and obviously you grew up, you said a lot of, blues and rock and things like that. That was was that kind of that because of that background when your style of music, when you got into it, you kind of still emulated that style of music? Was there anything else that really kind of you wanted to try, or was that just seem to be really your natural fit for the kind of when you got into your music doing that?
I think it was my natural fit. I used to sing of course, you had your favorites back then, and you would sing to all your favorite singers.
Yep.
They try to do their songs.
Yep.
But I always sounded a little bit bluesy kind of stuff.
Okay.
Whether it influenced me because of the music I listened to, probably I won't say I'm an original that came out of the blue, because you do pick up whether it's unconsciously or what. But let's just say it hasn't changed over the years. It's just been a consistent that I always sound a bit rock and blues. Like my producer says, you can give Lyia any song to sing, she'll still bring a little bit of blues to the track. So that's what I have. Whether it's consciously, I have no idea.
No, it's great. I mean, it just adds to the mystery of the persona. Obviously, it puts like your own unique stamp on it. Because again, that's just your go-to. Whether you're trying to do rock, there's a little bit of blues. You're doing country, there's a little bit of blues. You could be singing disco or whatever. Just the weird stuff, but there's blues there. Right? Yeah. It's funny there. Like now, if this is a great question too, if you didn't feel music had pulled you in, and this was your course of life to be a performer there, and obviously you're teaching too, but was there a dream you had growing up? If it wasn't music, what would you be doing? This is a great question. I'm just curious. I'm going to see if it goes really far off the beaten path. Everybody has a different answer for this, so I'm just genuinely curious. Career-wise, yeah. If you weren't a performer and an artist, like if it maybe something you wanted to be, I don't know. Like we hear different things from people. They go all over the spectrum, but
over the years, depending on where I was, I wanted to be a nun.
Okay.
I wanted to be a nun. Then I wanted to be a ballerina. But I was my frame is so much bigger than what was accepted.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, because and then I think more recently, if I wanted to pursue a career, it would probably be in the culinary arts.
Oh, okay.
So I would like to have my own restaurant where I cook and I do everything else, because my mind, that's what I do. And I've done over the years is cook.
Okay.
Whatever I can conjure up from this little gray matter to a plate. Yeah. So I would have liked to pursue that, but I wouldn't want to be stuck in the kitchen all the time.
That's fair.
I would like to get what I want out and then teach someone to get that out all the time.
Well, listen, if you ever open up your own restaurant, we'll fly to Malaysia just to come try it. So just let us know. I mean, we love to eat. So, if we get a friends and family discount, no, I'm kidding.
Yes.
No, I'm teasing. That's great though. That's really nice. And it's always great to learn new stuff and, new challenges. And, we hear that question a lot. I always like to ask it because people have such great answers where I'm like, I know it can't all be music related. Like everybody always says, I want to be a doctor. I want to be maybe a lawyer or ballerina or God, there's so many different things you hear. Like it's always fun. Yes, you have a question?
What was it about being a nun that made you want to be a nun?
Well, my education was in a convent. I'm a convent girl throughout.
Yep.
And I had this stage in my life where I carried a Bible everywhere I went, and I had this great need to connect to something higher.
Yep.
And I didn't have a name to it because I was a little bit young. So I knew there was something I needed to connect to, and I wanted to be a part of and embrace, but I never really discovered that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I think I wasn't mature enough or whatever, but for some time I wanted to be a nun, yes. And to some extent, I still have that in me, not to be a nun, but that I need to connect to something a little bit higher.
Yep.
I call it the universe nowadays. I don't call it God because there is a God, but I call it the universe because it's a little bit more, it appeals to everyone.
Sure.
Rather, we have different faiths, right? So God to you might be something else. So I like to call it the universe.
Yeah. That makes sense. I will say that's one of the more interesting ones. You're the first one to say that. I have not heard a nun or a priest or anything, so that's definitely going to go on the
No, I'm not
the
a
list.
nun.
The list of what's the most interesting career path. Well, I wanted to be a nun, so that's a good one. We're going to remember Lyia for that one because I've not heard that one yet. And we're going to share anybody else who says it. I'm like, sorry, you're not the first one to say that. We already heard that first. So, I mean, it's a great goal though. I mean, honestly, it's not bad. And again, we can respect, searching for something. Everybody is. And I think even you probably noticed this from your musical journey too. When you're trying to create something, you're connecting the people, you're putting, art in music form out there. You're trying to connect there. You're trying to give people something as well. It's all about form of expression, whether it's musically, visually, art is art no matter which way you look at it. Everybody just has a different way they do it. You could be a professional sculptor, a painter. We have the musicians that do it. Everybody's trying to tell their own story. They're trying to. We've been doing a series specifically in the horror genre, but we're talking to a lot of directors, actors, producers. And trying to understand the version of. Listen, we know a lot of people. Horror is not your thing, and we know it's the death and all these movies you see over the years. But these people we're trying to dig deeper of what's the story that they're trying, because these are creators. Same thing like the musicians. You're trying to understand like what the story is, why you're telling it, what's important. And most of them say the same thing, which you probably could relate to is we are doing this for us. Yes, we want to get it out there. We want to be known maybe for it. But what we are creating is personal for us. And we want to, like, we've had people say we're going broke. Like we funded our own movie project. We had no funding, no big professional, whatever. We did it ourselves. We're in debt for it, but we love it because it's ours. It's our baby. It's our commitment. It's our craft. Yes.
I have another question. What would be your dish of choice if you had a restaurant?
How what?
What would your dish of choice?
What would be your dish of choice if you had a restaurant?
If I had a restaurant.
What would you kind of food would you serve? Yeah, what would your?
I think I would focus more on fusion food that fuses the food that I was brought up on, and so I was brought up on a lot of Portuguese food, Portuguese culinary that's fused. Now the Portuguese came here, and they intermarried with the locals, right?
Sure. Yep.
So whatever food and they brought from Portugal, they infused whatever that the locals were already cooking, right? The dishes. So I would fuse the Chinese, the Indian, the Portuguese, and I'll fuse it all because I cook every day, right? I cook every day because I believe strongly that we should eat a good meal rather than eat outside, because we do not know what they put into your food outside. But so I cannot create one dish and do the same dish tomorrow without experimenting further.
I like it. Listen, you're making me hungry already. Like you had me at fusion. I'm like, I love a good buffet combination of, can't go wrong there. I mean, a little bit of everything goes a long way because everybody has different tastes. So if you can kind of like blend a little bit, I'm one of those. I like the spicy. So if it's spicier, I don't mind it. My body, I'm getting older, so I have to be careful. Unfortunately, I'm not as young where I can just eat it and not pay for it later kind of thing, but I still like it. But that's just, I really hope you get the restaurant because I'm telling you, that's enough for me. I want to get my passport. I will fly to Malaysia just if you have the restaurant. Just like, I mean, you know what? If you do that, like we'll be like your first in line. I'll probably help fund the restaurant because I'll be eating there so often. So I mean.
So okay, answering a big horse question.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, what I did was none of us had jobs. Everything was on shutdown.
Well, yeah.
And I opened my home, and it was kind of a cottage industry. So we sold food out of home.
Okay.
So I'll cook everything. I'll take all the orders, and then I'll get it all sent out through the delivery rider, right?
Okay.
And if I had a restaurant, the dish I think that would really sell, because it appeals to everyone, whether you're an expatriate, you're a foreigner, you're a local, would be the nasi lemak, which is a Malaysian dish.
Okay.
Apparently, I made good nasi lemak. I have no idea, but people used to order that continuously from me.
Got to be good then, yeah.
It is coconut rice, which is rice cooked with coconut milk. So it's really rich and fragrant.
Yep.
Then there's the chilies, the chilies. It's kind of a chili, right? And there's the deep fried chicken or whatever you want to put aside with fried anchovies, fried peanuts, and cucumber on the side. Now that's the basic dish. Now you can always change it with a lot of other dishes on top of it.
Wow.
But the basic has got to be the rice, the sambal, which is the chili, pounded chili with onions and garlic, and you fry it.
Oh, sure.
It's all So all that
foundation. Yeah.
The foundation. That's the basic, and it's served.
That sounds good. I would definitely take a plate of that.
And I'm not a big anchovy person, but I would be willing to try it. I'm still salivating. I gotta wipe my chin. Wait, I mean, like, that's just.
What the anchovies in the United States are slightly different, right? Do you get fried anchovies, deep fried anchovies that is so crispy?
Yeah, see, we don't do that. We eat it raw. I think that might be the problem why it seems so unappealing. Nobody does that. I guess it's a thing. I don't know.
So our anchovies are all dried out in the sun, and then they're deep fried. So it's like pork rind, deep fried pork rind.
Yeah, I could handle that. That's not bad. See, I love deep fried. I don't know why we don't do it. And you think we being a multicultural country, we would adopt some of these things. We don't. So it's like, just throw it in a deep fryer. That makes it so much better. It kills anything, it tastes crispier, not as salty maybe, depending on the oil that you use, all that stuff. But that's really awesome. That's now I'm hungry. Now I'm like,
you are. You've not tasted the Portuguese, the signature Portuguese dish, which is curry devil. Curry devil. Literally, it's really very hot. It's called curry devil.
I don't mind hot. Listen, I could be crying and not taste anything. I love that. Oh, Lyia. Oh my. That's fantastic. I mean, and it's nice. And that's great that you had that opportunity. COVID was a killer for everybody. So it really did shake up the world. We've only seen parts of it. Like, obviously we focused it here in the US. We had our share with it, but I often wonder what it was like, obviously, because it was worldwide, how it affected a lot of people, because, it changed life as we knew it, for everybody. And, I can't say one or the other. It changed all of us, all corners of the globe. It hit so many different people. It unfortunately took a lot of people. It killed a lot of people, unfortunately. It really was something we've never seen. What?
I said, I'll be right back.
All right. Thank you for sharing. But yes, that's a great, wonderful thing. Now, the one question I want to ask, and then we're probably going to take a quick pause, but I do want to ask this first, just because I'm generally curious here too. So now, on the performing side, you being obviously in the music bit, an artist and that kind of thing, in the simplest way, I know this is a very big question, but I like to ask this for everybody because everybody comes from different walks doing music. What would be your impression or interpretation of the music industry as it is today? Obviously, you probably can go back and see how things have changed over the years, but in your own perception, whether it's good or bad, whatever's happening with the music industry, what is your take on what we're seeing music today in this current generation?
I think people do not because of the world we live in right now, everything is so quick. People want to consume things quick, and then they want to spit it out and go on to the next thing. Yep. I think music suffers the most. The arts suffer the most, because this is something you have to. Music, art, or anything that's in that under the umbrella requires you to sit with it. I'm not talking about pop music. I'm talking about just music in general. You need to sit with it. People used to buy records. People used to go to record stores and buy records and play it with their friends and, listen to it continuously time and again. But nowadays it's like, if the first 3 seconds don't appeal to me, flip. It's off. Flip. Yeah, it's off. So I think the world that we live in is not going to get better in that sense. It is not going to serve music at all in that sense. So, right. Whether I think it's a bad thing, it's hard to say, because for me it's a bad thing because I've experienced what music was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Sure. But for those who are just stepping into it, this is just a way of life. It's just how it is, and they accept it.
Yeah. Very true.
I just don't like some of the the way things are done nowadays, because I understand AI is a huge part of it, but I also think that a lot of people who want to come through the back door has now found a way in through the back door with AI. You know, like we spend years and years crafting, getting done, and then they have just, it's not a wrong thing. That's why I say there's no wrong or right. It's just we as the listeners, as the consumers have got to decide whether or not this is what they want to support and encourage, you know, along the way.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's changing the way music is nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, again, I agree with you. It's unfortunate. We had, again, these discussions, and again, with some of the movie makers with AI and, you know, what's your feel, pros and cons. Everything has its place in the world. Obviously, we live in a digital age. We can recognize that. We know it does change a lot. You know, gone are the days, although 45s are making a comeback, the old turntables, if you can go back that far, like they are coming back. You know, going to the days, I mean, I'm old enough, I would go to the music store to buy the new CD that came out. Yes, I'm not. People are like, what is that? I'm that old. Yes, I went and had to open the case, tear the plastic off. You know, I mean, it's just what life was. But and I think it's great that there's with the streaming and stuff. But like to your point too, people are rushing it too quick. You know, they're not taking time to appreciate music as an art form or an expression of art form. So, you know, and why sacrifice? Why? And the other question I always say people is, and we can blend this in for your thoughts too, is if you being a performer and an artist, when you create your content, your music, are you so desperate to be popular, to be famous, that you give up your creative control rights, you know, contracts and things where you sign with a record label? But a lot of artists don't read the fine print where the label says, listen, you give us your material, we can do what we want with it. You give up creative control, like, and they want to be famous. That's great. But is it really your art form? Is it your music? And what if a studio or a producer decides, you know what, I'm going to change this, and this. So it might have started as your original song, but now it's completely changed. It's like, that wasn't even your stamp. It's something totally different, you know? So it's that whole process of how committed are you? Is it about the music? Is it about the fame? Is it about, you know, people want to get rich and famous. They want to be selling multi-platinum albums overnight. They want to be these instant, you know, superstars. And I'm not saying, you know, things can't happen. We see crazier things happen, but, you know, do you give up the fame, or do you want your content to be truly you? Like, you know, you being Lyia, your content should represent you. You don't want it to represent somebody else, right? You don't want someone to, like, say, like Raging Halls, for instance, that's your song. You don't want to give it up and say, well, someone just completely changes the lyrics, they change the music, and then there's no remnant of who you are as the one who wrote it, you know? So I think that's a huge thing, right? Like, and I seem like a lot of these artists now are just selling out for the wrong reasons, maybe, if that's a good way to put it. You know, they're rushing things, or even like they say, times to make an album or even one track or for a song, like they're rushing the process just because they're like, I want to get it out there. I'm trying to make a name and all that stuff, right? So do you see a lot of that? Like, I don't know how much you get involved with other artists or you work with people. Do you kind of see that trend at all when you're doing or performing or seeing others do that? Like, what is your thought on that? That's a hard question. It's a big one.
I think when record companies get involved, there's no way, Jose, you're ever going to be able to retain entire control of how your work sounds.
Right.
That's because there's a lot of money involved.
Right.
And it's not your money; it's their money.
Yeah.
So they're going to make you a product that they have to sell and make money from. So that's where you have to sacrifice the art. All right.
Okay.
But I've not been in that circle where I have people who have done that, because I'm closer to the creative group of artists who work hard to get their work out, but there's very little fame involved. You know. It is not an easy question. Everybody needs to make money, right?
Sure.
I mean, what's the point of investing 10, 15 years of your life into something that makes no money?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So So
Fair
that's
point.
that's just business. It's all just business, yeah. And you're lucky you get money out of it. But I don't know. I'm a bad businesswoman, so I've always been. I always do the art, and I cry about why we don't make money later.
Yeah.
But
the true torture artist bit. We got you. Yeah, no.
But it's good. It's good to have fame because fame helps you be visible to an audience that you would have otherwise not been able to be visible to.
Right.
Yeah.
But what you sacrifice for it and how far you go, I think it's an individual choice.
Yep.
And I think that's why record companies sign younger artists, because they are easier to bend and mold and
yep, for sure,
and contort, so that they can do you fit them any line and they just go for it because they want it, to work for them. They're afraid of being dropped from the label or put on ice, cold storage. So it's one of the reasons why I got into music also was because I was scouted by a record company here back home.
Mm-hmm.
So this talent scout came around and heard me sing, and back then it was BMG Music or Warner Music or something like that, and they wanted to sign me up for a record deal contract, but they said I didn't have enough exposure performing.
Okay.
So they said, go and perform for about a year, then we will sign you up, and then we want to probably make you a rock artist, blah blah blah, because at that time rock was very popular.
Right.
They had a very popular rock artist who had come out like 3 years or 4 years before me, and they wanted another one to kind of hit the scene.
Yeah.
But when I got into the live performing circuit, I realized that there's a lot of crap going on beneath the surface. Yeah. And I didn't want a part of that. So I gave up that opportunity to just perform live and just do that. And I did that for a long time.
Right.
Before I finally found my independent career. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah. By the time I found my independent career, I discovered that I discovered a lot of things along the way, and I realized that it wasn't worth the sacrifice, signing with a label and stuff like that. Because if you don't make it past your first album, they sign you for 5 years. You don't make it past your first album, there's no sales, there's no whatever. You get put in cold storage. You can't sign with anybody else. You can't perform outside. You can't do all these sorts of clauses. Well, you're just basically signing your death warrant. So I said no.
In essence, and that's unfortunate and I'm sure it has over the course of time shelved a lot of potential artists just because it's such a hard, I know back in the day, there's you have to cut a 5-album deal. If you don't make the 5 albums, and a lot of labels are specific. They want 5, and then per track, I forget what it was back in the day. It's so many tracks per album. You have to write all these songs to consider it an album. There's all these milestones. So from that standpoint, it does make sense. But totally agree. I think everybody, to each their own. They have to find their path. You said you carved your own path after a while. You figure that out. But it is a rough road. So that's definitely an interesting way to put that there. We're going to take just a short pause here for you guys at home. It's very invigorating there for this message there, but we want to give everybody a chance. Everybody's got to use a bathroom break. We get it. You need a refresher. That's fine. We're going to keep talking more. We'll play a little break for you guys, commercial break there. We're going to come back, talk more with Lyia. And this is a great chance. If you have anybody interested that wasn't listening or watching this before, go get them because we'll be coming back. So stay tuned. Don't go away there. Get your break there. I'm going to put everybody here on mute just briefly, just because obviously when we go to commercial, it does not do that for us. So I just make sure if anybody has anything embarrassing to say, we don't embarrass anybody. We've done that before. I will say, I'll say who it was, but I'm kidding. But anyway, we'll be back. Stay tuned here. The show is far from over yet. We got plenty more to talk about here. We're glad you guys could tune in. We'll see you back here shortly for more talking with Lyia. We hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday evening. So for your entertainment, here's some great commercials, some great fun for you guys. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned for more. Don't go away. You don't want to miss what's coming up next. See you then.
We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back to the show with more in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
Are you looking for some extra cash? Are you wondering if that old jewelry or coin collection sitting around is valuable? Then visit Borger's Rare Coins and Fine Jewelry. Call or text owner Jeff at 973-390-4606 for a free evaluation, no pressure to buy or sell consultation, and answer any questions that you have. Also, be sure to visit BorgersRareCoins.com for further detailed information, as well as buying and selling directly online. In business for more than 50 years, Borgers knows the true value of not only precious metals, but their customers as well. A small, independently owned establishment that offers that family quality feel. You'll be absolutely thrilled with your experience. Don't delay. Contact Borgers today. Located in Hellertown, Pennsylvania, and proud sponsor of the What's Up Bro podcast show. We hope to see you there.
All right, give me 1 second. We're coming back here. It's just, unfortunately, my screen is not super big. Let me unmute everybody. But we get there. Welcome back, or welcome if you're just tuning in. This is the What's Up Bro podcast show, brought to you, of course, by J&J Production Studios, your one true home for entertainment on the Airway Kingdom Network. And tonight, we are joined by singer-songwriter and visual artist Lyia Meta, joining us from Malaysia there, having a great conversation, talking about all kinds of things, specifically her music. One of the things we do like to talk about, as we do towards the end of usually the interview, is... and this is another great personal question for you as an artist. We ask everybody this, but we talk about influence. We talk about, what music means to people. So for you as an independent, as an artist, it's actually a two-part question. So answer as you will. The first part, though, is what kind of impact do you personally hope to leave in the music business and the industry going forward for the future? And also potentially, what do you hope to maybe inspire other future artists, people that want to get into music? Maybe you'll be their influence. They'll hear you and they'll want to get into music. So what is your hopes in that two-part scenario there for the music industry and for potential artists of the future? Big question. Sorry, I know, but it's always a fun one. I hear different answers for this, so we're curious.
I've always gravitated towards the idea of writing anything, whether it be music or art or my writing things. I like working with themes that resonate with people across the world. So it's about empowerment. It's about discovering yourself. Everything, the dark, the light, whatever. So I also want my music to be timeless. Now, it's very difficult for certain genres to be timeless. Okay, but if you listen to my music, I would like to know that 20 years from now, you listen to it, it still has some meaning to you. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't want to be not forgotten. Everybody gets forgotten once the lights are out. Forgotten.
Yep.
But I would like to leave something behind, like, when she was around, this is what she did. This is like, this is what she said. These are the words that she had written. I hope I would like that, but that's entirely how things unfold over time. I approach music with the purpose of it being timeless. I want it to be timeless. So I hope that people can walk away with something from it that they can hold forever in their lives. You see? What was the next question?
The part that then was as far as the influence there, but also maybe potential artists of the future, these singers, these maybe visual art. Like if you're going to inspire, like someone says, like I could be an artist going, Lyia really inspired me. I want to get into music or graphic design. Like, what do you hope to maybe leave to those potential singers of the future, songwriters of the future? My motto, my simple motto in life is, I
I'm everything I set out to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look for time. I make the time.
Right.
When I first started in my life, I was often told that I cannot do a lot of things that I do.
Yep.
From the way I sound, because my sound is really not something easily digestible.
Right.
Okay. And from my writing and my art. But if I listened to those people, I would not have gotten to where I am today. So
Yeah.
I would like to leave this behind, that you have to shut out all the noise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
and you have to just do what you got to do, and you don't wait for the time, because today is the day to start. So I would like to leave that. I did everything I did, not because, aside from the fact that I wanted to, but because I made the time to.
Yep.
There's no tomorrow. There's only today. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
100%.
possible. And I'm working from a small place in Malaysia, and I've collaborated with a lot of really good artists and songwriters across, from country to pop to rock and stuff like that, jazz, pop, and I don't say no, because I try to step out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I don't like to be put in a box.
Yeah.
So I hope people just listen to their own inner voice. Listen to your inner voice.
There you go.
Gotta do it. You gotta do it. You just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. You got like Nike says, just do it. It's
Just
like
do
that, just do it.
Just do
Not sponsored in any way. So please don't. I'm not plagiarizing. I'm just saying it fits the mold of what she's saying. It's just fitting in. So please don't. Just do it. Just do it. Listen, I know it's LLC, but I'm just using it as a point. So please, Nike Corporation, if you're watching, don't hit us with anything. I beg you, please. We're just trying to help you. But if you want to sponsor it, no, I'm kidding. But that's very good. That's, everybody, and that's, again, art form. You being unique, being true to yourself. And we said this recently. I think it was on another interview we did and they made the point of, I think people, the biggest problem is, our biggest challenge is ourselves, because we are afraid to try, maybe afraid of failure, afraid of criticism, which these are probably things you've experienced in your journey trying to make it there. You get, like you said, you get all these told, you can't do this. It's a crazy dream. Why do it? My favorite is you got to be practical. You got to be, sensible. You got to be, like you said, the picket fence. Well, if you're going to have a family, you got to be supportive. You got to have the average, whatever. And they're important things. I don't knock anybody for that. Everybody has their niche in life, things that they want to accomplish, they want to do. But at the same time, like you are very similar, I can't be put in a box either. As much as I try to conform and be what people want, I'm not wired that way, and I used to feel guilty about it, because I'm like, well, maybe I need to do what they tell me. I'm like, no, I got to be me. I can't be something that I'm not, and maybe you'll love me or you'll hate me regardless. Everybody has an opinion, right? So we know there's going to be, and the same thing for you as a performer. Art, some are going to love you, some are going to hate you. You never, they say, and especially in our line, you don't ever read the comments, because people are going to be cruel and they're going to say anything they want.
Oh, tell me about it. They're so cruel.
Right.
But, just like you were saying, if you don't do it today, it's going to find a way to come out at a later point in your life. You might as well do it now.
Yeah. What do you got to lose, though? Like, some of us, we're getting older. It's like, you know what? I'm tired of sitting on the fence going, you don't want to live with the regret of, I could have done this, I should have done this. Even if you try and you don't make it, at least you tried, like you gave everything to it. But it's just the idea that, we live one life. So if you're going to make the most of your opportunity, and as I said, most people, we hold ourselves back because it's us. It's not anybody else. It's us afraid to branch out to.
Okay.
No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Do you know the song from the Bond movie, You Only Live Twice?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So do you know the lyrics for that?
Yeah. Yep.
So you only live twice. Once you only live twice. Once for yourself and one for your dreams.
Yep.
Yeah, that sums it all.
Yeah, really it does. And that's very true. I wish people would hear that more, because it's so poignant that you know, how many people, and again, you may have talked to people, you hear like, oh, you know, I had a dream, I was going to do this, I was going to do, well, the key phrase was going to, meaning you didn't even try.
Yeah, try, yeah.
And now you look back going, oh, I always said, I don't want to be the one, if I don't make it, I've tried a lot of things. And if I don't, I'm not going to make everything, but at least I tried. So I can look back years down the road going, at least I gave it my best shot. Not maybe if I got off the couch, maybe if I published that manuscript, I could have wrote a book. Maybe I could have written that film script. Maybe I could have wrote that song, you know, XYZ. So same thing. The future of my hope is all everybody too, is that everybody finds what they're passionate about, what they love, and that they really at least give it the old try. And don't listen to what society dictates, because it's going to never be 100% backing of what your dreams are. Everybody's going to tell you that you can't do it. So
I think the loneliest place to be as you get older is living with yourself.
Yeah.
And your regrets.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something I don't want to ever be in, because I've seen a lot of people walk down that path. You know, I should have done that, I should have done this. So some people think that I work too much and too hard.
Yep.
Because I sometimes most days I work till about 3 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
Because I don't have the time to do all the things through the day. But I make sure I make the time, because I don't want to look back and say, you know, I was still going to be scrolling through my phone till 1 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning. Yep. I don't put the phone down and get something done. So it's just a choice whether you want to do that or not. So
That reminds me of a saying I heard.
What's that?
Do everything today to make tomorrow all right.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, and what's the other one? It's like, if you do it for today, because tomorrow might pass you by and you won't even notice it. And like, you'll say, I'll get to it. But then time goes by and it's like, well, where'd the time go? I was going to do this, and now all this time lapsed and I never did it. And now it's too little too late, as they say. But, you know, that's the choice factor. So, you know, really, it's a great thing. And compliment too, like your journey is absolutely fantastic. And I really, truly hope that other people, as much as we can help people meet you coming through this, that they're inspired just by these words, because everybody can be, our thought of it too is everybody can have their own form of success. The world is a big enough place where we can all succeed. It just depends on what you define as success. Everybody has a different plateau. But don't have boundaries as far as your dreams. We try to tell people that, you know, don't put yourself in that box, like you mentioned there. Don't put yourself, and don't stifle yourself where you lose the battle. When you start getting up here and you say, I can't do it, I start thinking it. Well, you're already losing that process, because you're telling yourself negative things. So now you're not even going to bother to try, because you're psyching yourself out up here going, like someone could be like you. I'm from a small town, middle of nowhere, and I'm from a small town, middle of nowhere. Like, what can I accomplish? What's that?
Where are you from?
I'm in a small town in New Jersey. Like, you won't even find it on the map, kind of thing. It's like your modern day Mayberry, if you're familiar with like the Andy Griffith Show from the old stuff, you know, like.
Oh, my favorite.
You know, like, but people, they don't know. And I'm telling them, like, well, where are you from? I'm like, well, I'm from a small town in Jersey. Like, where is that? I'm like, well, and then you try to tell them. What's it? Yeah. I literally tell them that, because I'm like, this population, maybe 1,000 people most. So it's like.
That's wonderful. That's magical.
Yeah, right? I don't like big. I mean, listen, I love visiting, but I'm not a big city boy. I'm a small town boy. Like, I don't mind visiting, but I can't live in a New York City or I'm just not I'm not built. And it's not to be offensive to people. Some people love it. I'm just growing up in a small town. You're used to I like to hear the crickets and the quiet at night, not traffic 24/7 or gunshots or, you know, the stereotypes you hear. But same idea is your small town, like I hear people say all the time, where are we going to get to? Because nobody's going to know us, because we're not from a New York City or a Los Angeles. We're not from these big, or, you know, Hong Kong or Paris or, you know, these big cities that, you know, like, and I'm like, why should that stop you though? Like, again, it goes back to you're stopping yourself, because you're psyching yourself out to where you're letting society dictate you by your standard. Doesn't matter how much money you make. We hear this a lot. It doesn't matter what ethnic background. It doesn't matter. It's what you want to do. It's what you desire. It's your dream. Like, your dreams are your dreams. It's not my dreams. I may be similar, but it's not. I can't be Lyia. That's you. You're the only one that can be you.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say, like, what's stopping you is it's you. Nobody else is going to be you. Nobody can be me. Nobody can be Big Hawk. We are our own. We might have similarities, but the stopping point is us. And if we choose to sit on the fence and not do anything, that's on our choice on us.
Yeah.
I tell people I don't blame anybody. If I choose not to act on a dream, that's all on me. I can't say you can't say so and so said to me I should do this and I didn't. I chose not to get off the sofa. I chose not to let your voice be heard. You hear that one? Like I didn't choose to speak out, right?
The second you open your eyes, you have choices.
Yep.
Your entire life is about
choices.
Right?
Yeah.
And you only have one life.
Yeah.
So I've made a lot of choices that I'm not proud of.
So we all do.
I've listened to a lot of people over time that I shouldn't have.
Right.
But
yeah.
What life I have left, I want to make sure it counts.
Make the most of it now. Yeah.
It makes the most of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think living in a small town actually allows you to be more creative because
I agree.
The pace, because there's not much noise.
No. There really isn't.
And it's not about literal noise. It's just it's the pace of life, and it's just different,
Absolutely. And I will say, I know some people. I've had friends that grew up in the town that they've gone on to do big things. And that's still kind of like for me. It's like it's pros and cons because I'm like I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting it. But at least I know it is doable. I see others that are in the same area I've been and they're succeeding. So I'm like. It really is just me. I got to get out of my own head and stop telling myself I can't do this when I'm like, if you want to do it, you push yourself. Like I'll have them talk in the mirror, get off your butt, go out there. Don't listen to whoever, we carve our own paths. We carve our own destinations. So that's just something I think that's important for people. And it's a great message. And for you, just what you're doing is just so inspirational there. We're grateful for that. We're going to enjoy your song. I'm going to listen to it tonight, probably before I go to bed, because it's very much, it's a great upbeat. I know Big Hoss will probably play it. I'm going to check his playlist. He's probably going to have it on repeat.
Before Big Hoss goes off, before you guys goes off, Big Hoss mentioned Shadows Bend to Me, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Shadows Bend to Me, that line from the song.
Yep.
So Shadows Bend to Me actually meant for me in that song, it meant finally taking control of your lifestyle. So it meant to me. I just wanted you to know. And
perfect message. We're glad
the music video, though I used AI, was because I had such a crazy idea in my head that there was no way I could replicate it. I do all my videos on my own.
Okay.
I produce them on my own. I do everything on my edit on my own. But this time I had to work with someone. So I did the whole concept and the idea and the direction. But he produced, of course, the AI, he produced it. But it still didn't turn out the way I wanted to because it would have been too far-fetched for anyone to
comprehend it.
You need to be able to bridge that where people can relate to it at some point.
That's the hard part. You want to make it big and colorful, but then it's like people are like, I don't understand. It's too much for me to process, and I'm like, ooh, I want it that way, but I gotta make it simple so they get it too. Like, it's always those difficult things, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to make the audience understand a little bit of what you're trying to say. Otherwise, it becomes too artistic and
It makes a lot of sense. That's really awesome that you're so immersed. But we like to do this too as we wrap it, is for the folks at home, people that don't know, where can they find more about Lyia Meta? Where can they find your music? Where can we catch up with you, follow you, XYZ, anywhere, everywhere, download your music, all that great stuff?
Okay. I'm Lyia Meta, Lyia across all social media platforms. You can find me under Lyia Meta, or go to my website, which is lyameta.com. Download and stream on all streaming platforms, or buy it on iTunes, Amazon.
Wonderful.
Okay, Lyia Meta. All my songs are there.
So if you guys can't find it, make sure you spell it correctly. Spelling is crucial because I'm sure there's got to be somebody who's got a similar name just by one L or something different, because it's always copycats. Right?
Lyia. No. There's Lyia. Well, there's a copycat. My name was Meta long before Zuckerberg took it.
Really? I was going to ask you that. That's a curious question, because obviously I know it's Meta. Have you thought? This is just controversial, but have you thought about? Is there a lawsuit possible thing there just because of the?
I was contemplating it. No.
Really? I wouldn't blame you though. Honestly, if you're the original, I mean, they took that. I'm like, where's the name come from? I'm like, you know what you do is you compromise. Like, at least give me 10%, maybe 20% of the profit from that. We'll call it even if you want to be fair.
The plus point is when they Google Meta, they find me too.
Really? Wow. I mean, hey, it just makes a lot of sense. But we'll find you. We'll plug you. We'll connect there. Lyia Meta, you guys can check it out. If you haven't heard it, Raging Halls, track out there, check it out. All kinds of great stuff you can do. We're really glad you could come hang out with us. And by all times, we'd love to have, if you work something out in the future, you're welcome to come back there. We'd love to talk more, see where you're at, catch up with you, maybe share more music. Lastly, we'll end it with this. Is there anything you can tease that you're doing in the future that might be releasing? Can we say anything here? Do we have anything?
Okay.
Question mark?
Right. No, there is actually. E.G. Holmes and I kind of he helped compose this song. It started with Holmes. It didn't start with me. It was his track that I wrote the melody and the lyrics for, and then we produced it. But we are now working on more music that might become more than a single.
Ooh.
So yes, because we've had quite a good response to Raging Halls, and we wanted to see how it unfolded organically, as you say. And we are probably working on new stuff. We already started actually new stuff.
Ooh, so we get a TBD to when everything is complete.
Who knows? We might just meet again early next year or whatever. Who knows?
There you go. Well, now you guys know more. You make sure you follow, because you're gonna get, when it's done, it's gonna be out there. You guys will know that too. But we'll look forward to that. That's awesome. But we really appreciate you coming here. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I hope you had a great time as well. We enjoyed it. It's a lot of great conversation, and we cover a lot of great things. Again, hopefully you guys learned something great. And if you didn't, well, sorry, but we should learn something. We covered a lot of great stuff, so you can't say nothing was shared. That everybody learned something, right? So, but be positive, continue life. And I think the biggest takeaway from this, we can all probably agree, is we say it a lot: follow your dreams, don't hold yourself back, and regardless what the world tells you, everybody's important, everybody matters. It's really up to all of you independently what you do or don't do. Choices. Lyia said it too. Everybody's got choices from the moment we wake up till we go to bed at night. Choices are made, good or bad, right or wrong, whatever it is. It's a choice. Correct. So don't let someone else make that choice for you. You control. You control your own life. We control our own destiny, right? We have to do we should do a dance party. I feel like that's gonna be one of these things where, conga line, and just, you don't forget those type of things.
Don't forget.
But thank you, Lyia, so much. It's been a pleasure.
So much.
You're very welcome. Have a wonderful evening. You guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. Again, check out Lyhia's stuff there. You're gonna love it. We appreciate you all being here. Have a wonderful, lovely evening. Good night. And goodbye for now. Until next time, the next show, the next interview. Hope you guys are excited. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. Take care. Good night. And as always, until next time, when we see each and every one of you at the show. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.